Good morning, everyone. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening, canning recipes, a little bit of everything. We have had such a strange gardening year this year. We've had lots of challenges, but we've had lots of wins. And some of those wins are these tomato plants. Are they still producing? They sure are. So I'm in here cleaning them up a little bit and pruning them back, but let me show you what's going on and just how well they are still doing on July the 10th in the heat that we have here in Texas. So this morning, these are some of the ramas I've picked. That has been only from 2 bushes. I've not even delved into the other ones, but let's look at some of these. So these are the tomato vines that we have in wicking tubs. And we've been successful with this way of growing this year, so much so that we will be doing this again. And the reason why is although they are still taking quite a bit of water due to the heat, they seem to be thriving in the bucket. These are 27-gallon buckets in this environment because my husband can water from the bottom, and they wick down, the roots wick down to the water, and they stay hydrated throughout the day during these hot summer days. But you can see in here, I have some beautiful tomatoes still coming up, and as I prune a little bit more, I'm able to see more. And you can see we are still getting buds. Let me find some on here. So we've been in the cool, here's some over here. So our nights have been cool. So they're still producing little buds, and I'm seeing them all over the rest of my tomato plants too. So I expect that we're gonna get more tomatoes off of these vines. Again, these are the ones on the north side of the first high tunnel, and they are in wicking tubs, and the varieties are the Perone, the Mortgage Lifter. I don't think I have any Romas in here. My Romas are all in my raised beds, and they are still prospering pretty well too, although they look a little haggard. So I'm doing some pruning back and getting rid of the dead leaves and the dead vines today. This is something you need to do in the cool of the morning because it is going to heat up to around 91 degrees today with a heat index of around 105 to 110. So I'm trying to get this done this morning. So usually by this time of the year, we've already started to lose much of the garden due to weeds and the heat. So far that is not the case because we did not plant directly in the ground this year. We planted in the high tunnel, we planted in raised beds, and we planted in the tubs. There were a couple of things that I did plant directly in the ground, and I'm going to show you what they look like, and then I'm going to tell you about the changes I'm going to make moving forward. So historically, ever since I have been gardening about 15 years, I have planted my squash and zucchini directly in the ground, and I have not been able to get a good harvest of zucchini or squash this year. I have gotten some summer squash, but my zucchini has been slow, and you can see we are constantly battling the mold and insect damage. But I do want to show you I am starting to get some zucchinis off these plants, which I'm very excited. But you can see that they are heavily taken over again with the mold and with weeds. We have struggled, like I said, for 15 years doing this. We normally get a very large harvest, bam, right at the first, and we are able to get our season's worth, which I blanch and freeze. And then these plants are normally eaten up with the squash bugs and with the powdery mildew. And trust me, I'm so happy with what I get every year from our garden because we do depend on it. But let me let you see this zucchini plant. I planted this zucchini plant about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and the difference is it is in a 27-gallon tub. I planted 6 seeds in this, and every single one of them germinated and came up and made this beautiful plant. So yes, I do need to get in there and prune some of it back so that the pollinators can find. But let me show you what's going on in here, guys. I am getting some beautiful zucchini off this plant in this 27-gallon tub. So, not seeing a lot of powdery mildew on this, not seeing a lot of bug damage on it. In fact, I'm not seeing any bugs at all in there. But, you know, they're there. Something's nibbling on some of the leaves, but I'm not concerned about it because it is starting to explode with zucchini. So I think moving forward, I most likely am going to invest in more of these 27-gallon tubs, and I will be growing my squash and zucchini in these because it keeps them up off the ground. You can just see it's such a much healthier plant, and I can control the disease and the insects a little bit better. And certainly no weeds that usually end up taking over my plants this time of year, and we're done. So here's some of the tomatoes and some of the Perone tomatoes in the front raised bed. I need to get in here and do some pruning on these as well, but you can see I have some beautiful red sun-ripened tomatoes to use this week, whether I want to can them, whether I want to make my salsa, or whether I want to eat them fresh. And these are still blooming out too. There are some damaged foliage that I need to get in here. And I will tell you that my husband has been battling spider mites pretty severe this year. I attribute that to probably the moist, damp spring that we've had. But Greg has been very successful at fending off everything that seems to be coming our way. But you can see the foliage is still looking very gorgeous. Yeah, there are some dead limbs or some damaged little vines, but my goodness, it looks like we are going to continue to prosper with our tomato harvest, where we have harvested so far about 125 pounds of tomatoes, various varieties. So the first high tunnel is in transition. Things are starting to get pulled up. We're going to start working the soil a little bit and putting some nutrients back into it, and then our fall planting starts right back up. So everything in there is just about coming to the end of its life cycle, and we will be replanting. We have some watermelons, which you saw at the beginning of my video. We've gotten about 6 or 7, maybe 8 nice sized watermelons. Excited about that. We're starting to see some of the cantaloupes come in, and let's see what else. Oh, and you saw my seed starters. We will be starting some more seeds in this next week to go into this high tunnel and in the one that is going up today. Of course, it won't be complete today, but we've got the soil prepared, and my husband will start to put the poles in today. So I wanted to give you guys an update and show you what is working for us and what we've been doing, how our tomatoes are doing. This new thing about the squash and zucchini, which I'm excited about because like I told you before in one of my other videos, gardening is just not the same to me without my squash and zucchini harvest, which I usually get, which are huge. So I'm encouraged to see how they do in these buckets, and the fact that I planted it a month ago and it's coming up. So I'll probably still have some time to put some more in some more buckets before our first freeze and get quite a bit more, which that's exactly what I intend to do. So anyway, thank you for watching. That's the update on what's going on around here at the farm. We got lots of work to do, lots of changes coming. We're excited. We are thankful for all of you that follow along with us. We ask that you hit that subscribe button and that you hit that like button, and that you continue to follow along with us on our gardening adventures and what's coming up in our future here real soon. Take care. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be in touch showing you how far we get with that high tunnel this weekend.